Greetings friends, back again because social distancing doesn't need to mean social isolation, and these shirts don't air themselves in the wardrobe. Now, after my last video, a friend got in touch and asked me to talk a little bit about overcoming fear and anxiety and worry during these uncertain times. So what I've got for you is 4 key principles to discuss. The first one is focus, the second one is state, the third one is exercise, and the last one is commitment. Now, focus. Uncertainty makes us worry. So how do we control that? Well, it's a lot to do with what you feed the mind. So you look at the news, you're reading the news, it's all about disease and suffering. So try and balance that with some messages of positivity. And one of the ways that you can do that is through reading. And I've got a book recommendation for you. And it's called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And in it, he talks about his experience as a prisoner of war during World War II, but he maintained hope and he found a way to inspire other people to have hope as well. And when he got out of the concentration camp, he gave back to the world this message of hope. And it's a very structured method, it's very good. I'll drop the link to this book in the comments at the bottom. Now, point number 1 was focus. Point number 2 is state. And what we're talking about here is actively shifting from a point of fear to a point of positivity. Now, here's an example. Next time you're feeling overwhelmed with stress or worry, try and note down 3 things that you're grateful for. I asked my wife to come up with one thing that she was grateful for yesterday, and she said the Wi-Fi. And that made me realise that I was perhaps taking the Wi-Fi for granted as well. So what can you notice and take a moment to express gratitude for? Example number 1. Example number 2 is about helping other people. Now, it's got a powerful effect on our state of mind when we help other people. Now, is there a vulnerable or isolated colleague that you might have missed an opportunity to reach out to and contribute to help them and how they're feeling? All right, that's point number 2. That was state. Now, point number 3 is exercise. Now, when we feel fear, we feel stress, it brings a very physical manifestation of danger. This fight or flight response is incredibly powerful. It's there to protect us from harm, but you can also turn it around and use it as fuel for your workout rather than letting it fuel you. All right. So it might feed your yoga practice. It might feed your run. It might feed your HIIT training, especially during the last 5 minutes of the workout. Whatever it is that you're doing, use fear, stress, arising from all this uncertainty as your fuel. Okay. Now that was point number 3, exercise. Point number 4 is commitment. Now, there's so much information out there about what you need to do to improve yourself, your self-care, your mental health. Probably heard all sorts of things. But the point is to commit to one of them. So, for example, you probably heard meditation is really good for your mental health. So if you get bogged down with all the details trying to find the right practice, the right app, the right teacher, then that's not really helping, is it? So just commit to sit down and focus on your breath for 10 minutes. That's all you need to do. All right. Now, if meditation isn't your thing and you're looking to create a habit, maybe you're going to perfect that bread recipe. Maybe you're going to make that once a week and try and perfect that bread recipe. You're going to commit to do that. And if that's not your thing, maybe you can do what my wife did, which is commit to have a great disco, a stay-at-home disco for the family once a week. And so she spends her time thinking about the theme. She comes up with the music. She gets all the fancy dress stuff together, and we all have a dance around and be silly. All right. There's another option. And the last example in commitment would be perhaps you're going to commit to check in with a vulnerable colleague or friend once a week and just make sure that you do that every time. So commit to improve your self-care is the message I want to leave you with. So what we've spoken about is focus, state, exercise, and commitment. So challenge yourself to use these ideas to improve how you feel, to become a better version of yourself on the other side. All right. Now, drop any questions you've got in the comments. And thank you very much for listening.